Okay. It's TDS Radio, your girl So Fab here. And as you guys know, every other Wednesday, we are coming with Healing Wednesdays. It's our brand new segment. We're super excited to get this started. And if you guys seen the last interview, we have our healing consultant. She's back. She's now officially a part of the TDS family, honey. And today we're actually going to be talking a little bit about your products, and a little bit about my experience with your products. But before we get into all of that, introduce yourself, Miss Bam.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, Miss Kim. As you know, my name is Varnar Spencer. I am a nurse anesthetist, and I have my certification in medical cannabis and therapeutics.
Yes, ma'am.
I am still a practicing nurse anesthetist. Been a nurse for over 25 years now.
That's awesome.
Yes, and got into this space because, like most people, personal tragedy, and decided to learn all about it and thought to myself, well, you know what? If it can help me, it can help someone else.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what brought me to this space and what I decided to do, and what I've kind of made it my mission to kind of help other people just as it has helped me. So it's through education.
Absolutely.
That I'm here today, and a long history of nursing.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I mentioned, in our original interview is that I think it's so awesome that your entire mission is helping other people, because we are in a very fragile state.
Aren't we, though?
And I know people are like, oh, I'm okay. It's just a little this, it's just a little that, when really it's a lot of deep-seated issues.
Absolutely.
So I think this is awesome. I can't wait to get into how we can tell everyone how your products have helped me. But before we do any of that, let's start with your first question, Miss May.
Yes. Well, today is going to be intentional with Kim's thoughts on the 10-day healing consultant trial box. And as you know, we kind of had discussions about your morning, about things that were, I'm not going to say troubling you, but things that were, we asked the question of what gets you up in the morning.
Right.
Right. And that was kind of how we started this conversation. So I kind of wanted to get back into that conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do kind of a regroup.
Yes.
And my first question to you was, could you kind of explain to me, as you explain to the audience, as you explained to me, kind of what the initial problem was in your mornings?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the biggest things that I was experiencing, stress and anxiety, immediately getting up and thinking, okay, what do I got to do today? What needs to be accomplished? What do I start? What do I attack first? And then after a while, you start getting to a point where your heart is racing. You're starting to get to a point where your breathing is starting to get a little shallow, because you have tacked on so much of I got to do. And then at the end of the day, I'm so tired because I'm thinking about all these things that I've done. I'm running through it, where first of all, I'm not even acknowledging the good in the day. Yes. And then two, I'm so tired because I'm thinking about, okay, well, what's the next thing that I have to do? What do I have to do tomorrow? What do I have to do the day after that? What do I have to do, during the weekend? So it's this constant state of anxiety, and it also doesn't help. As you mentioned, sharing a loss where you lose someone who is so, huge in your life, where you have those moments too that you're battling with because you're going through the various stages of grieving, because we all know there's no time limit on it.
No.
So it's this constant battle of, okay, what next? What's going to happen next? What do I need to do next? How do I prevent these things? How am I problem solving? And it's just between anxious, anxiety, and exhaustion.
Yes, that's right. And I think that we also had that discussion about what goals you wanted.
Yes.
In your morning.
Yes.
Yes. And can you tell me a little bit about kind of like what we talked about?
Absolutely. I mean, just being in the moment.
Yes.
And I think that was one of the things that I loved about your box, where you're starting your day off with music.
Yes.
And that's so important to set your tone, how the day is going to go. Once you're in a groove, you're feeling better, or even just a meditative state where you're taking a moment to listen to your breaths, and slowing those thoughts down and realizing like, hey, it's going to be okay. And even if it's not
Yes.
okay, it's not the end.
Yes, it's not the end. You can breathe through this. You can get
Exactly.
through this.
Exactly.
Yes. And I think that's kind of what's kind of started our conversation, was talking about how it can be just overwhelming just to get up out of bed.
Yes. Yes.
Just to get up out of the bed.
Absolutely.
And it's not just unique to us.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
It's not just
Exactly.
unique to us.
And as we talked about, everyone tells you, oh, try meditation, try yoga,
Yes.
wake up with Folgers.
Yes.
All of those things.
Just in your cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in your cup.
But then you realize it takes so much energy to even get to that point.
Absolutely.
So when you're already exhausted because you're constantly thinking about what's next,
Mm-hmm.
and you're telling me to go to yoga, girl, I don't have time for that.
Yes.
I'm stressing myself out.
Yes, because we're just trying to get up out of bed.
Exactly.
Yeah, just trying to get the momentum to just get out of the bed.
Exactly, 100%.
Yes, and I think that's kind of what is not unique to all of us who are struggling, especially now.
Absolutely.
Because not only do we have our own stressors, but we have the life stressors post-COVID. So let's just be honest. I mean, it's post-COVID.
So not only dealing with COVID, but then you're going to talk about a potential recession.
Yes.
Like what's next?
What happened? And then you think, well, do I even really want to get on the bed?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do I want my feet to hit the floor or not?
Right. Exactly.
And so that's kind of what we talked about, is like, what could you do to incorporate some, just some small changes at the beginning?
100%.
Yes.
100%. And even just listening to you, because you and I, outside of having our strategy call, you immediately jumped into mom mode. Like, this is what you need to do.
I know.
And you're going to report back.
Yes. Get it together, Kim. Here we go.
I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I know.
But I love the fact that you immediately referenced your box.
I did.
To where it was just like, hey, this is your little reminder. Okay, you're using this, but don't forget this can add and this can help your day, which were the drops.
Yes.
And just adding a very little bit in your, water in the morning. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but typically when I wake up, the first thing I do reach for is room temperature water. My brother thinks it's gross, but I love room temperature water.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do. I still, to this day, have a little glass of water on my bedside table.
And it feels so much better than ice cold, because I feel like I'm being jolted.
Yes. Because you don't want that.
No.
And it takes a lot to metabolize cold water.
Right.
It really does.
Exactly.
And you're not trying to do that in the morning.
Hello.
You're not trying to do that in the
morning.
Hello
and good morning.
You're just trying to get up.
That's all.
In the morning. That's all you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I took a little bit of the drops, like you said, put that in my water before I have the meeting, before I have to deal with the day, because that causes a lot of anxiety where I don't want to get up.
Absolutely.
And I did notice it was a calming feeling, but it wasn't like an immediate jolt into you're here and then now you're here.
Yes.
It was a nice, easy flow where as the day goes on, like you said, around the afternoon, I'm noticing like, okay, I'm good. I'm in a good place. I'm not feeling as anxious. My mind isn't running like a hamster wheel. Things are starting to slow down. My breathing is slowing down. And then by that time, like you said, if you needed something in addition, okay, fine. But if not, you're good.
And is that what you've kind of incorporated into your day?
Yes. And I love the simple fact that it's non-habit forming.
It is.
It's just one of those things where if you feel like you need it, it's a part of your day. If you don't, no problem. So like I said, typically if I know it's going to be a rough week or I know it's going to be a rough morning, I'll be like, let me get a couple of my drops and, sip on my water. And I love the fact that it doesn't have that overpowering taste either.
No.
Where you're like, this is CBD.
Because, I think that's what people have to understand is that number one, you're not going to get high off of
right.
it. CBD is hemp-derived CBD. You're not going to get high off of. And I think that people need to understand that. And it's all natural.
Right.
So it's not like you're taking any kind of chemicals. And I think that's important for a lot of people to understand. Is that
exactly.
It's not that.
Exactly. And there's no side effects.
Yes.
None. Like literally, I still felt like me. I didn't feel like I was in a daze. I didn't feel sleepy. I didn't feel groggy, irritated, none of that. I just felt like me, but a breathless version of me where it's just,
where you can breathe through it.
Yes.
You know, it's not, you know, things can come at you.
Oh, 100%.
And you're just like, well, okay. I mean, you know, but it's not, it's, you know, you can process it
Absolutely.
in a way that is not, it's not jolting, it's not intrusive, it's not not this overwhelming thing that you have to deal with.
Absolutely.
But you can be intentional.
Absolutely.
With your thoughts.
Exactly. And for those of you who are also wondering, it's not like it slows you down to where you can't think. I was still very productive throughout the day. If anything, it brought clarity for me, you know. So,
and I think that's what people need to understand too is and the drops are, you know, tasteless, and you can put them in anything. You can put them in water, you can put them in your tea, you can put them in your coffee, you can put it in anything and it dissolves through. So you don't have to worry about that. It's water soluble.
And I love that.
Yes. So it's not going to alter.
Good job.
Thank you. Good job. It's not going to alter that taste. So, you know, you're not drinking and going, you know, like, what is this? And you don't have to do that. You know, it's not that.
Exactly.
And I think that's important.
Exactly.
For people to understand. And it can be a 1 drop or it can be 2 drops.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. You are the judge,
right,
of what you how many drops you put in there. And I think that's the beauty part of it, is that having these conversations and having understanding what your life is about, what your intention is, what are your goals, what do you wish to accomplish through your day,
right?
Even if it's just getting up out of bed.
There we go.
I mean,
because that in itself is an accomplishment.
Yes. I mean, it sometimes it really is.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it really is just getting up out of bed. And I was wondering, so did you get to play around with it? Did you do like 1 drop and you were good?
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, because I definitely, after the side effects that I had with ashwagandha, which I didn't realize that I'm allergic to it.
Get out.
I didn't realize until afterwards. And it literally, my hands and feet were on fire. Like I could not stop.
Really?
Scratching.
It was like a rash.
Mm-hmm. So I realized quickly, even though it worked, I was allergic to it. So I needed something else, you know, when I don't want to talk to my doctor about any other medication, because I'm not big on medication unless I absolutely need it. But outside of that, if I can get it to where my health is good, I don't need medication, I want to keep it that way, you know. So when you propose the drops to me, I'm like, okay, let's try one. You know, let's try one.
That's what it's about. It's about trial. You know, there's no one script that fits all.
Exactly.
There's no, you know, and it's suggestions. And I think that's what part of the consultation part is of the business, is that it's having these type of conversations. It's going through and saying, okay, talk to me. What are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to do?
Right.
What are the goals?
Right.
And I think that's important, so that you're in control of this. You know, I'm just helping with your journey.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yes. I like the tagline. Thank you. I'm just helping with your journey. Yes, you see it.
Yeah. I'm not dictating the path. I'm not, because you have to make up your mind.
Absolutely.
You know, where are you in your life that you want to try to incorporate some holistic alternative therapies. And that's the key, because no one can do anything but you. And so if you've decided that that this is a point in time in your life where you want to try to incorporate some alternative therapies into your practice, because you want to, you want to try to do something different, then I think that's where the healing consultant and the products come in.
Absolutely. 100%.
I think so. You know,
100%.
All right, we're back with the lovely Miss Kim. So Kim,
I love your voice.
Thank you.
You're just so soothing.
Well, thank you. Oh, I'm hoping so.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay.
You know, you're on brand. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm trying. So, Miss Kim, now, so we've talked about your intention and kind of what you've kind of been doing in the morning. So what I'd like to do is kind of explore that a little more so and ask you now. I've given you like the whole box.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And filled with a lot of things that you can try out, things you can incorporate or not. So now we've talked about the drops. Now, is there anything in the box that has kind of been helping you out throughout the day besides the drops?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please do tell.
Let's talk about this, honey.
Yes, let's talk about that box, honey.
So for those of you who weren't a part of the first episode or did not see it, this is the welcome kit.
Yes.
And there's so much personalization to it that I love. The fact that you
Thank
even
you.
have a thank you note in there.
I do.
I think
'Cause
this is
that's
awesome.
important.
It is.
It's important.
It is. And it's a lost art when it comes to, just that little small touch of letting people know you're appreciated. So I think
Thank you.
that is something definitely that warmed my
Yes.
heart.
Thank you.
And
in that, and actually in that thank you is also kind of a slight explanation, recommendations,
Mhm.
and kind of a guideline that people can read and kind of tweak to their own personal needs, and so they can do a little bit of sampling of the things in there.
I think
And
that's
have
so
a kind of
awesome.
guideline. Thank you.
And then of course, you have your card. And then we
do.
have your playlist that you have on Spotify,
Yes, ma'am.
which
we
is
do.
awesome.
The Healing Consultant.
Yes, ma'am.
On Spotify.
You see it. Hey now.
Yeah,
It's right
thank
there.
you.
It's right there.
Thank you.
Which is, something that you intentionally curated yourself.
I did. I was blessed to work with a music therapist,
Which is awesome.
and he has helped us craft a playlist that is soothing, that is upbeat, that has songs in it that truly just warm your heart. Not only just warm your heart, but set you on a path.
Yes, ma'am.
Set you on a path. Set your day.
Absolutely.
And can bring you down. So it does a little bit of both, and it's ever expanding. So make sure. Oh yes, honey, it's an ebb and flow. So it ebbs and flows with you.
Absolutely.
With your day.
And I love that. Everything about this is so personalized and intentional. Which, if you guys can see the box,
yes.
We have your gummies in there as well.
Yes.
You have your roll on in here. You have your drops. You have the salve in here, which I have not had a chance to try that yet. But immediately when I got your box,
yes,
I will say I was hesitant at first.
Okay.
Because I've had bad experiences when we talked about that.
We've talked about
where
that.
it's potentially overdose, it's too much. It's not the right strain. It just wasn't a good fit for your body or what it is that you were trying to do.
Absolutely.
So I was very hesitant at first where I'm like, okay, here we go.
But we talked about that. We talked about THC.
Absolutely.
And we talked about CBD.
Absolutely.
And we talked about the difference.
And
we talked about the fact that in these products, because all of them come with a certificate of analysis. So independent lab study, which comes with every product that I sell and that I send out. And you can actually see the dosage of THC because remember we talked about that's what gives you that euphoria and gives you that kind of panic state.
Exactly.
And you think, oh, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then you don't know.
Exactly.
And then you get paranoid.
Yes.
Because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And it lasts for hours.
Yes. And it lasts because you ingested
exactly.
it. Because you ingested it. And we talked about that, and that's the things, is that with the CBD and the Delta 8 that's in there, both of them, like 0.03 of THC in the Delta 8. So no. You're not going to get high.
Right.
I mean, it's just...
Which is one of the reasons why I kept coming back. Because I was like, I don't feel paranoid.
No.
I don't feel different. That stuck feeling like some people explain. That was a horrible experience that I had where everything in this box was calming. Because as I mentioned earlier in the show, me and my brother recently lost our mother.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on the anniversary of it. Yeah. We both have jobs. We also have our, baby, which is TDS Radio.
Yes.
And then you have friends, you have family, you have a lot where you're being pulled in different directions, and then everything just stops and it hits you where it's like, I lost this person.
Yes.
So I don't want anyone to feel like I came to this as a crutch, but it was also necessary because I needed something to just calm me down.
Yes.
Where I didn't feel like I had control over my feelings, because one minute I'm crying, one minute I'm angry, one minute I'm, just wanting to lay in bed. I'm irritable, and I'm projecting that onto other people, which isn't fair because they don't know what's going on. They're like, girl, it's just May 6th. They don't know it's my mom's birthday,
That's right.
So it wasn't fair, So then that's when I was like, okay, let's start with the drops,
yes,
and see how that works. And after I got scolded by my mom over here.
You gotta take care of you.
Exactly. And that's what she told me. That's when I was like, okay, let's go for it. And then you also suggested, the Delta 8 gummies as well.
Yes, in the afternoon.
And that was one thing where I was like, okay, I still feel like I'm a little bit anxious because I only had one of the drops. And probably like around 3-4 o'clock, I felt, okay, I'm starting to get a little anxious again.
Okay.
And that's when I went ahead and started, taking half of the Delta 8.
Absolutely.
Just to see my tolerance.
Absolutely.
And the half, I was like, oh, okay.
Right?
We're good.
You're good.
We're good.
You're good.
We're good.
Because then you can, especially at night, then you can incorporate, the if you want to take the breathe, and if you want to meditate, if you sense, because we have candles too.
Yes, ma'am.
The healing consultant, we got candles. We got candles for you.
That's right.
So and set that intention in the morning and at night. And you can start to wind down. You can use the Spotify playlist.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can, and I don't care if it's just 10 minutes of your time, because we all are busy. We all have busy lives. It's just it's the uptake and the wind down.
Yes, ma'am.
And all that in between that I think all of us are just trying to, I'm not even gonna say deal with. You're just trying to get through it.
That's all.
Yeah. And find a little joy in it.
Right.
I mean, find a little joy in your life.
Absolutely.
And I think that's everybody.
Exactly.
And that's just kind of where all of this came from. Because as you know, I had tragedy in my life. I lost our son as well as my husband. And that was a lot.
It is.
That's a lot to uptake. And I think we both talked about the fact that I was not introduced to this, to my husband.
Right.
Kind of, because, you after losing, a child, you can't get up off the floor.
Right.
You just can't get up off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't. And for me, much like you, I don't like taking medication, but I did.
Right.
And Kenneth was just like, yeah, no, I got to get her, she's got to get back. And so he was actually the one that introduced me to, I didn't know it. He said there were vitamins. Yeah, didn't know that.
Yes, the vitamins tricked you.
Yeah, they were vitamins. And all I knew is that I could get up.
Right.
I could get up.
Absolutely.
It didn't take away the pain, but you could cope with it. And then you can begin to process and do what it is that you need to do in your life.
Exactly.
Whether that's therapy, whether that's, which, I mean, I'm a proponent of, I think you should. So it's therapy. It's, it's breathing. Because I always tell people, just breathe through it.
Yes.
Because it will end.
Oh yeah.
It ends.
Absolutely.
No matter what it is, no matter what feeling you're feeling, just breathe through it, because it will end. It's just that the products are just, they're just another piece of your pie that you can build upon. It is not a cure-all.
No.
None of it. That's the important part. It's not a cure-all. This is just another tool in your toolbox.
Absolutely. And that's exactly how I see it.
Yes.
Whenever I need an added tool, let's go for it. When I feel like, look, someone is about to get cussed out.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and grab my Delta 8 gum.
Yeah. Yes. Because we're about to have a come to Jesus meeting.
Exactly. And that's when it's like, come on, girl, bring it down.
Yes.
Bring it down.
Right.
Bring it down. But I think these are the two, like I
Yeah.
said, the drops and the gummies that have helped me the most. And as you guys
Good.
see, you have your Delta 8 and then you have your CBD gummies in there.
Yes.
Where I actually like the Delta 8 gummies more
Good.
for me.
Good.
Like I said, I really feel like it's a calming sensation, and it just kind of brings things. It centers me.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
It does.
You know,
because it's that, because that's what it all is supposed to be about. It's not supposed to give you a crutch. It is supposed to just give you the ability to self-regulate.
That's exactly. There we go.
Yeah, because that's what you're
There we
doing.
go.
You're just self-regulating. You're not medicating it,
Right.
whatever it is.
Exactly.
It does not take away any bad. It doesn't take away the emotions, the feeling, the pain. It doesn't do that.
Right.
But what it does do is just gives you another tool in the toolbox so that you can process, so that you can deal, so that you can cope.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what it's about. And then in somewhere in there, find your joy.
Somewhere in between,
somewhere sprinkled in there, find your joy, because that's what it is. Because no matter what goes on in your life, right? It's brief moments in your life, and it's you having to get through them. And it's just how you're getting through those so that it doesn't bring you to your knees.
Exactly.
All the time.
Exactly.
All the time.
Exactly.
That's what it's about.
So we are back, and you guys heard a little bit about, what it is that I used and what it did for me.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, my routine essentially is the drops, where I do 1 or 2 in the morning in my water.
Yes.
I'm not a tea or coffee drinker in the morning. Just give me water, room temperature. But I'll do
that's what I'm
1 or
talking
2 in my water bottle. Typically my Starbucks cup. That's constantly what I'm carrying around.
Absolutely.
And then if I notice that the day is getting to me a little bit more than what it normally does, typically I'll take one of the Delta 8 gummies, and I'm pretty good until the end of the night. And if I feel like I still need something more, then I'll go back to the drops.
Great. See, and you've developed your own routine.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
And that's what it's all about. And that's what I'm all about, is helping people develop a routine that is unique to them, is to helping them on this journey to kind of cultivate and create something that works for them.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what the healing consultant is all about. That's what the consultation is all about. It's this conversation, this one-on-one, this working through what your goals are, what your journey is, what it looks like for you, how we can incorporate all these products or 1 or 2 products.
Right.
But whatever works for you.
Absolutely.
And what doesn't work for you. And, it's just kind of incorporating it in your lifestyle too. Because, there's morning people, there's afternoon people, there's people who we can talk about exercise, we can talk about eating, we can talk about diet, we can talk about all that.
Right.
And that's what the consultation is all about. It's about your lifestyle, about creating something that is unique and gifted towards you and yours.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important for any and everybody.
Yeah. And I love that there's something in here for everyone, because even though I might not use, the 2 products, the roll-on or anything like that, doesn't mean that someone else might not benefit from it. As I said, my brother, he is an advocate. He is waving the flag for the roll-on. And I figured that was something that I might incorporate when it's that time of the month.
Absolutely.
Like, well, let's just see, instead of constantly taking ibuprofen, where I'm literally down in bottles of it. It's like, let's try something natural. Let's try the roll-on. And then for those of you who may not know, I had my ACL meniscus replaced. So sometimes I will feel a little bit of the arthritis from time to time, or it's still swollen because it's still, still new.
Yes.
Incorporating that as well. But it's one of the things where it's going to have to start being a part of the routine.
Yes. And that's what it's all about, is, this kind of the sample. I always call it a sampler, because that's really what it is. It's a sampler. But you can purchase that, but then you can also, come and talk to me about it. Make an appointment. Come and talk to me about it. We can craft maybe something that works for you, that is unique for you, because that is what it's all about. That's what this whole journey is about.
Yes, ma'am.
It's about getting something that's unique to you, because that's the beauty of hemp derived CBD and and Delta 8 and whatever it is, you have to find something that works for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what the consultation's about. Is working is us as me helping you, coaching you through that time, whatever that time is. But you, like me, you have to show up, and you have to
Absolutely.
decide.
100%.
You have to decide.
Yes, ma'am. And
I'm just here to help.
And since she's here to help, you've heard my testimony.
Yes.
You've seen the products.
Mhm.
You're hearing it from the expert herself.
Yeah.
How do people get this consultation?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Oh.
You get the consultation through the Healing Consultant. You can also .com, but you can also, if you can also email me, which is vspencer@thehealingconsultant.com, and we can get that conversation going. And you know what? That way it doesn't have to be public. It can be very private. It could be intimate, because a lot of people, believe it or not, still have trouble talking about the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it a little bit more personal, a little bit more private. And that way you don't have to, you don't feel like you're exposed, or that people know about it or don't know about it.
Exactly.
Until you decide or not. Yes. So you can always email me at vspencer@thehealingconsultant.com. And I promise you, I will get back with you. I promise. I promise.
If you don't, she will.
Because I will, right? Because I hunt you down.
I hunted you
down. I know. I was on vacation. And
like, ma'am, go have fun.
I know. I was like, Kim, what are you doing? You didn't get back with me. This was a conversation. Come on, girl. What's going on? Are you okay?
Which I love. So once again, guys, if you are having any sort of issues, like I said, I know a lot of us are dealing with anxiety, the panic attacks, just the nervousness, the anxiousness, the worry, just feeling like that heavy cloud is over you. Try the Healing Consultant. I'm telling you, it helps so much in various situations, from minor stresses with work to even just, the bigger problems of grieving.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I love it. I love that it's, holistic. I love that it's not like, okay, I have to have another conversation with my doctor where they're judging me like, girl, you crazy? And it's like, no, I'm just sad.
Non-judgmental here.
Right.
And I think that's important. You have to have a safe, non-judgmental environment.
Absolutely.
In order for you to be open and honest about your needs and to honestly just ascertain if this can help you at all.
There we go.
I mean, because that's a subject too. That's a topic too. Is can it help you? Because as we said, this is not it's not a cure-all. It's not the magic pill by no means, shape, or form. But this is, like I said, it could be something in your tool chest.
It's your parsley to your meat.
Yes, absolutely, it is.
I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your inaugural episode.
Thank you.
This is definitely something that was really sweet of you to do.
Well, I love talking to you. I love it. I love it.
Let everyone know what the upcoming episode will be.
Oh, yes. Our upcoming episode in 2 weeks is Rolling Through the Pain.
Yes. We might actually get my brother on that one.
Oh, we can only hope, right?
Look at that.
Get him on there. Yes, it's Rolling Through the Pain.
Listen, honey, because we ain't no young bucks no more.
That's what I'm talking about.
Knees crank in the morning.
Roll it. Yeah. And Tina. On the river.
With that said, you guys, thehealingconsultant.com, make sure you check it out. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Yes. And if you have any questions, can they email you?
Absolutely. As I said, vspencer@thehealingconsultant.com.
There it is. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Thank you.